and we've talked about quarterbacks, but let's throw quarterbacks out.
Okay, good.
Which current NFL player impresses you the most and why?
Oh, man, just one guy.
Just one guy. And don't say Justin Fields.
I'm not saying Justin Fields.
Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Happy Thursday. Special, very special, maybe the most special edition of Fearless ever today. Man, we got gold jackets everywhere. I forgot to wear my gold jacket today, but these other guys have made up for it. They didn't wear their gold jackets because they don't need to. Everybody knows they're Hall of Famers. We're joined live in studio here in Nashville for our second Fearless Football kickoff. Brett Favre, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Warren Sapp, one of the greatest defensive linemen of all time. Marshall Faulk, one of the greatest running backs of all time, and Brian Urlacher, one of the greatest linebackers of all time. These guys are all in Canton, Ohio. They all played in Super Bowls, 2 Defensive Players of the Year, 2 MVPs. I hope I don't offend anybody, but Marshall has the reputation as one of the smartest, if not the smartest guy to ever play in the NFL. Certainly the smartest non-quarterback to ever play in the NFL. He's smarter than everybody else on here, especially Sapp. But anyway, this is the Fearless Army Cookout Edition, Gold Jacket Edition. I want to thank you guys for joining us, particularly Brian and Marshall. Warren and Brett make regular appearances on the show. Love having you guys all here. And we're going to talk some football. These guys have been talking football, and I almost just want to shut up and just let them continue the conversation because they were telling incredible stories. But I want to start here just because it's part of the news cycle today. Bobby Knight, the legendary Indiana University basketball coach, coached at Texas Tech as well. I grew up in Indiana. Well, my first job out of college was in Bloomington, Indiana. I worked for Bob Knight's best friend, Bob Hamill. So I just want to start there. Bob Knight has passed away at the age of 83. A tremendous coach. And I want to just start by asking you guys, and I'll ask Brett first, and then you guys chime in afterwards, because Brett's dad was a high school coach. Could you have seen yourself playing for someone like Bobby Knight?
Absolutely. I never particularly liked being chewed out, whether it be my dad or any other coach. But I got it. It was okay. I think we need more of that Bobby Knight today. My college coach for 3 years, Curly Hallman, was the meanest man I've ever met. He had a speed bag every day after practice. I think he did, and he was good. I think he did it just to intimidate the guys. And he was a hard ass. But I loved him. He was a disciplined guy. My dad was a very disciplined guy. My dad was very short on attaboys and very long on you can do better, or I'm gonna bust your ass. And it motivated me. You weed out the weak.
Exactly.
And in today's world,
You would, Marshall? You would, because
I played for many of Bobby Knights. That's the era of when it was okay for a coach to tell you do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. That was okay. It was okay for now. A coach, you got to toe the same line as the players. They expect you to run through the same wall if you're a coach. But I played for many of Bobby Knights. It's just the respect that you had to maintain, that respect for your coach and for elders. And regardless if they were wrong, the neighborhood policed us. It was like if somebody's parent down the street told you something, you had to listen just like it was your parent. So that went for coaches too. It wasn't your mom was going, don't tell my kid, don't parent my kid. That's today's new world. The neighborhood kind of raised us in a sense, and you had to respect everybody if they were your elder. And any coach, my high school coach, listen, man, my mom told my coach, listen, if he get out of line, you can whip him.
Yeah.
Like the hell with just grabbing your face mask. You can whip him if he get out of line. So when your parent does that and give an adult that authority over you, that authority that you need in the ability to respect that authority.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Bobby Knight, I don't agree with his antics and stuff like that, but I understand them. And we all came from that. We all came from that.
That's how it was back in the
Players
day.
want to be coached.
Yeah.
You don't want that slack. You don't want that, it'll be all right, you'll get it. Because a lot of people know what to do, but very few people do what they know. And especially in a football team environment, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You yell all you want, but I'm finna go handle this job and then just sleep under the very blanket of security I provide and don't question the manner in which I do so. That's all I say. But coach me hard, be on me if I make a mistake, because that's what I want. And great players, I always wanted that. Don't let me slide with nothing, because I want to try to play the perfect game. I know I can't, but I can trample excellence on the way, though.
Same way. I want to be coached hard. You know, I didn't like when I was young. I didn't like it. I had a college coach who was kind of a dick, but looking back, it helped me become a better football player and learn to deal with coaches like that. But I want to be told what to do. I want to know the difference between, like, if I step here, I want to know the difference between right and wrong right away. There shouldn't be any play where I have a question what I'm supposed to do on. And most of my career there wasn't. I played for coaches who told you exactly what to do every play. And if you did it, you were fine. If you didn't, you had a problem. That's the way it should be. They should be able to tell you when you screw up and get on you when you mess up. That's what we've lost these days.
Do you think it's easier for y'all to say that because you were such great players? Let's say if you were a little bit lower down the totem pole, is it harder to deal with? Y'all not gonna make too many mistakes, so Bobby Knight's not gonna yell at y'all that often.
That's not true. I'm the player I am because of that.
Yeah, you learn
It was because you're gonna mess up. Things are gonna happen. Like we try to. You're not. The team will make the least amount of mistakes as the team will win. Because we're gonna make mistakes.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's not about making mistakes. It's like what's going to make you make that mistake? Are you lazy? Are you tired? Are you not disciplined? So understanding, man, coach, I don't want to hear coach's mouth. I'm gonna do it right the first time. that drives you, and then pretty soon you just become accustomed to doing it right. A lot of kids,
no other way but to do it.
Right, a lot of kids don't have that. In today's world, you get a trophy for participating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Part of, and again, I'm asking this blind. I know Brett's situation because he talks about his dad a lot. Did y'all have dads in your life? Because what I see a lot of times is guys that didn't have dads in their life, they can't handle what a Bobby Knight brings to the table.
Oh, my father was in my life, and although he was in my life, my mother ran it. Like my mom was the I'll rip your arm off and beat you with it type of mama.
That's
like,
what my mom was.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have a stepdad, but my mom, I was scared of my mom when I was my dad.
Yeah, my dad laughed at it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my dad never had to. My mom was like, if I got to take off work and come to school because you messed up, you're not gonna like how I come to school. So it was that type of environment.
A lot of discipline.
A lot of
100%.
Yeah, a lot of
no
discipline.
question that she was more and willing and able to do so.
Yeah.
Okay, Sapp, I know you and you got a son that's in the game.
Yes.
So I know you're still around these young kids, and so are you. But am I right in thinking this younger generation couldn't handle a Bobby Knight?
No. All right.
Go ahead, yeah.
I had a conversation with the defensive coordinator.
Sapp's going to. You got to make sure
That's
you
okay.
over-tap.
I can't ready to listen today. Yes. Can't ready to listen.
I got you. This one here threw me off. I was talking to an NFL defensive coordinator the other day because I was watching the tape, and I said, you know what's going on? He's like, are you crazy? He said, man, if you tell these kids the truth, you'll see them tomorrow. They have a green jersey on, and Dr. Reynolds is in your office asking you, what did you say to this man? I'm like, shut up. I'm like, they will go tell the psychiatrist on you now?
Wow.
Yes. I said, I'm done.
Wow.
I said, I'm done.
A psychiatrist? What do you? I mean.
Yeah, I got mental problems. You told me the truth that I'm not good enough to do my job.
So from what I've seen with my son, their coach is old school where he goes to high school, so they get a lot of Bobby Knight at his school, which I love because I'm glad he chose
That's
the
legal
school.
today?
It's not Bobby Knight. It's not as bad as Bobby Knight, but The kids don't say anything. They deal with it and they move on. They're a good football program because of it. They have some good young men come out of that program as well. But I appreciate the way he coaches them, and I think my son does as well. He likes being coached like that, and he comes home and he behaves. He goes there. He better behave at home, but he's a nice young man and he listens to what his coaches have to say. He likes being coached hard.
Today's episode is brought to you by First Cup Coffee, a Christian-owned Patriot coffee company that stands for core values, family, and building community across the nation. First Cup's freshly roasted beans delivered in ground or whole bean texture, pods, and bulk. Go to firstcup.com and use the code FEARLESS and save an additional 10% on your order. And if you subscribe, save an additional 10% for the life of your subscription. That's First Cup Coffee, one of our newest sponsors. Glad to have them on board.
The parents, here's what, and I think about this, like the kids who can't take it, their parents were the ones who didn't make it in our era. Those parents that didn't make it, that felt like the reason why they didn't play was because that coach did it, their kids are the ones who cannot deal with the Bobby Knight. They can't deal with reality.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think, it's a soft generation in general, and I think a lot of the blame should be the parents or parent, which is our age.
Yeah, no, I definitely think we blew it.
And it's hard.
They're telling
It is hard.
They're telling their
hard,
kids excuses.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right.
They're taking up for their kids. I'm not, Bobby Knight would choke someone. I'm not saying that needs to be done, but there's a level of discipline that's missing. I remember Mike Holmgren, the first team meeting, really didn't know what to think. He talked about logistical stuff, getting over to practice from St. Norbert College and all this stuff. And at some point he said, I want every one of you to remember one thing. I'm not your friend. Mm. And I'm thinking, why in the hell would he say that? There's got to be a level of discipline and where you stand on the totem pole. And today, Belichick's probably, and Andy are last of a dying breed, where you just don't, some of these coaches, I'm sure players just walk in the office, hey, what's up? I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it is now. And then when you jump off sides, because you forgot the snap count, you wonder, Holmgren would stop practice and rip your ass if you jumped off sides. And I'm sure with Warren and Brian and Marshall, the same way, there's examples of that. The little things, you'll lose because of the little things. And when you let the little things go, we'll do it in the game. We'll get it right. Then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And as a player, the good players have enough discipline, and maybe not, I was undisciplined, but I worked hard. But I needed to be coached hard to rein me in. I didn't particularly like it at times, but I understood it and respected, which Marshall was dead on. Respect, whether it be on the field or off the field.
So two other coaches I got to put in there. Mike Tomlin.
I was going to say the same thing.
The respect that he had, and Pete Carroll. Pete will get rid of you if you don't like. You don't. Oh, Russ, you don't want to be here. Bye.
You want
okay.
You want to compete. Bye.
Okay.
Yep.
It's Pete Carroll. Like you don't get as and he's about as old school. And I've heard very few players talk bad about Pete that played well for Pete.
Yeah.
If you compete for him, you love him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about Dick Vermeil?
Dick was I wish I would have known Dick Vermeil like in his Philadelphia days. In the Ram days, I didn't understand him, and he really our relationship grew after football was over for me, because he wasn't the kind of coach I was used to. I was used to being coached hard, and at this point in time, Dick Vermeil came back after having the breakdown, and they told him you cannot coach football without emotion. And so I now had a coach who would, in the meeting room, just cry.
I know.
And I'm like, Like, I was just, I'm like, what the like, this man is leading us? I didn't understand him. And then he and I, when I played for him, we never saw eye to eye on a lot of stuff. It wasn't until I was working at NFL Network, we had the Dallas-Atlanta game that I got to see his brilliance as a coach. We had the Dallas-Atlanta game, and Coach lost his voice. And they stuck me and Dion in the booth. And he gave me his play call, his sheet, and coached me through calling the game. And I was like, wow. Like, in front of a national audience. I never called the game a day in my life. And he coached me through calling the game. Here's where you breathe. Let Tirico talk. This guy, here's what you talk about.
Yeah.
Here's how you present the stats. Literally coached me. I'm talking about while this thing is going on. And I was like, okay, I see. And since, like, the relationship that we have is awesome. I couldn't see him as a coach when I was playing. Mike Martz was my guy. Mike, Mike gave it to you raw. Yeah. Mike gave it to you raw. Like, you either can play for me or you can't. You are the guy who's gonna get it done, or SFG, same guy. Like, he didn't play, and that's how I was used to being coached. And I couldn't deal with the head coach crying. Like, it made no sense to me. Like, literally, they traded for me.
Yeah, that would be.
They traded for me, and the guy sitting next to me, who was the starter before they traded for me, Dick Vermeil, in the meeting when they introduced me to the team, I showed up to camp. He said, "We now have 2 good backs," and I'm like, who the hell are you talking about?
You brought me in for a reason.
I'm like, they brought me in for a reason, man. What the hell wrong with you? Now, in our highlight tape, after they traded the guy sitting next to me, they catch him on tape. So this is why we pay this guy all this money. Literally, like, he thought that we were the same guy. He and I, we didn't see eye to eye about a lot of stuff. But I love him. He learned who I was, and he learned how to coach me. He learned how to coach me because he didn't pull me aside midway through the season and say, like, look, the only thing I need you to do is lead. I need you to be a leader.
So, you played for Tony Dungy.
Yes, I did.
You played for Lovie Smith. These guys are kind of a different version of Dick Vermeil. I mean, Dick Vermeil definitely led with emotion, but Tony and Lovie led with faith and a more quiet demeanor.
Tony, I like to describe, like the Bible talk about that rock or that tree by the river that don't move, that's always there. That's how he was. Every day he come in that thing on an even keel. I mean, it didn't matter if I was in the middle telling one of my nasty jokes and I see him, he'd be like, I've heard worse. So he'd come back through and I let it go. He'd be like, oh, that's pretty bad. I'm like, oh, come on, coach. But it was just, it was like the dad that I'd never had, but a dad that was a cool dad. Because, man, Tony was a prophet. Tony would break the game down for you. And I remember we played San Francisco first game of the year. He was like, we're going to keep pounding it. We're going to keep pounding it. Then we're going to catch Merton Hanks one time, inching up, and we're going to get behind him. And it happened just like that. I mean, he would break the game down, give it to you in little pieces, little nuggets, little cookies. And I mean, it was such a pleasure to play for him. But I wish he would come and, like, get in our faces. Because in the 6 years we was together, I think he said darn or dang twice.
If Lovie said darn,
if he said that, boy, it was on. It was on.
Okay, so Lovie, to Marshall, the respect thing, Lovie didn't have to scream at us. The respect we had for him, for that man when he walked in day one, was at an all-time high. Just the command he had in the locker room. But he said darn, crap, and dang in the same sentence one time. I was like, holy shit.
We're in trouble.
It was halftime with the Detroit game. We gave up like 230 yards the first half. He didn't care what the offense, defensive head coach, offense didn't matter. They scored they had 2 yards. He doesn't care. But we gave up 230 yards on defense. What the crap, dang? I was like, oh man, what did we do? We go out second half, they don't move it at us at all.
Yes,
but he knew at the right time how to challenge us. And there was, like I said earlier about knowing where to go every play, there was not one snap where you didn't know exactly what you were doing every play for that staff. He was our defensive coach, so he came into every meeting, our linebacker meeting, because he was a linebacker guy. But he'd come in there and watch us and challenge us every day with our questions he would ask us. Just the preparedness was unbelievable. But like you said, playing for your dad, you didn't want to let me down.
Yep.
That's one thing you do not want to do is not let him down by making a mistake. You know, you could, like, effort mistake. Mental errors are going to happen effort-wise. You better not make a mistake effort-wise, because they were going to call. That's when they call you out. Is when you. That's the one thing you can't control is your effort. So he was just the respect that everyone in that locker room had for him. Like, he didn't have to say anything because we handled it in our locker room because of him.
Y'all did the number system.
What's that?
He was with us.
He was in.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mike ran his, and Mike was like out there.
Yeah.
And Lovey literally, I never heard him blow a whistle or yell in practice.
Yeah.
Like he coached you. If you made a mistake, if he had to run over to you, put his arm around you, and coach you on the detail as to here's how you do not make that mistake. A lot of coaches, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Come on, man. No, come on, now, coach me. Love. I never seen anybody coach like that. Him and I used to sit in the back, and he'd literally ask me, "What are you thinking here? What are you trying to do here? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And I've never met somebody that was more detailed. Like he was so down to the. You do, when they do this, you do this.
Yep. When he got there, that's when I got like really dove into football. Like that's when I got a smarter football player. I knew what I was doing my first years, but that's when I got deep into our system and I knew what every guy was doing, every play, the safeties, the corners, their leverage, what their linemen were. I knew everything.
Who was one, who was two?
Yes, our
and who
defense
the
was
free hitter?
so simple.
Yes,
when you do that, because when you're playing in that defense, you don't think, you just play.
Yep.
That's when you play fast and you play your best. You just fly to the football. That's what we did for so many years under him.
Guys, you know I love Prize Picks. Will you be testing your skills on Prize Picks this football season? It's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. My mom, she loves Prize Picks. We tell you her picks every week. Here's her picks for this NFL Sunday. Alvin Kamara, more than 33.5 receiving yards. TJ Hawkinson, the Minnesota Vikings tight end, wow, more than 49.5 receiving yards. Kirk Cousins is out. Mama, what are you thinking? Jalen Hurts, more than 250.5 passing yards. Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposit into your account this football season. Go to prizepicks.com/fearless and use my promo code fearless for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/fearless and use the code fearless. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made
Years
easy.
under him.
I want to switch topics. I want to talk about a different coach and a different situation that I think you guys will be fascinating on, just because the question had never entered my mind until this year, and it probably didn't legitimately enter my mind until the last couple of weeks. Like, who was more important to the Patriots dynasty, Brady or Belichick? And I always thought Belichick, no question. I'm now sitting here going, that culture that was so important to them, it can't happen without Tom Brady. If your best player doesn't let you set the tone for that culture they had, it can't exist, and I think that's what Belichick has run into. Still considered the greatest coach of all time, but assisted by the greatest tone setter of all time, and it kind of hammers the point of, again, like, damn, the players actually do win the games, and they do. and I've kind of questioned that and thought it was the coach, but Brady or Belichick. Warren, you got. I'll let you go, and then hopefully you'll quiet down.
Go to the quarterback. Let's go to the quarterback.
Sure.
You know, I think the combination.
Don't both sides,
I think.
Brett.
I never played for Belichick, but I played for Eric Mangini 1 year. Eric Mangini was
Good friend of mine. I love Eric. Yeah.
Eric was very bright. Came from the Belichick tree. And it was funny because I played 16 years with the Packers. I was on the Falcons my first year. So in year 17, I go to the Jets. But I'd been in the same offense and culture for 16 years. Mangini brought over the same philosophy. And I got along fine with Eric. I was only there a year. But it was totally different. What I mean by that, and one in particular, that we would watch the game film together, the whole group, and it was really a pick on someone.
We call it Dummy Monday.
Yeah.
When you lose, Dummy
Like,
Monday.
look at this guy here.
Yep.
We did the same thing.
Not
I
hustling.
hated it.
And granted, I think that there's some good in that, but I think there's some guys, it's an adverse effect on them. Maybe a guy was running slower because he was unsure where to go. Some guys, you give a guy, a receiver, three different things in one route. If it's off coverage, you run a hook. If it's bump coverage, you run a speed across. If it's inside leverage, you go up, speed across, and come back out. Some guys can handle that. Some guys like short circuit.
They got to think it through while they're running.
It was bump and run.
Yeah.
I was like that early in my career. Holmgren used to say, "Don't see ghost." I thought, what the hell is he talking about? And then when I figured it out, Holmgren was gone. I'm like, the ghost, or I saw a guy blitzing who wasn't blitzing. But Mangini and Belichick would call you out on stuff like that and embarrass you. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that was the way they did it. If you got a really good quarterback, and they didn't know that Brady was that until he had to play, but it is what it is. And he buys into what you're doing. I don't know if they had a conversation, but I envision at some point Belichick and Brady sitting in the office, and Belichick says to Brady, maybe they've won a couple of Super Bowls or what. He says, "Look, I need you to back me up on how we practice and how we do things. If you don't buy in, no one else is going to buy in. But if you say, hey, we're in pads today, let's roll. We've won Super Bowls. We got to do it. There's certain things that Belichick either coaches or does, and again, I've never played for him, but is different from everyone else. And if he doesn't have the guys right now. When he had Brady, he had a lot. But he likes practicing pads. He likes to hit, And if he can, skirt around the rules a little bit, he's going to skirt around the rules a little bit. Well, if you got a player that's like bitching and complaining out there in practice, your star player.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then.
So are you saying Brady's more important?
Wait, listen. And I'm gonna say it's Brady. I'm gonna say in the beginning it was Belichick, and the issue. And here's why it was Brady. Brady allowed Bill to be Bill.
Correct.
And at some point in time, your quarterback gets to a level to where the coach then gives the quarterback the autonomy to kind of have access to the team. It's your team, and I'm never going to demean you or do anything, all right? Belichick's in control of who comes in. He's drafting replacements for Brady. Brady ain't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. He's not saying anything. At no point in time, I've never heard Brady speak bad or ill about Belichick. He always allowed Bill to be Bill. What Bill didn't do was Bill didn't allow Tom to become who Tom became, the quarterback helping him win these Super Bowls. He suppressed him. And he wouldn't allow Tom to, let's say if Tom wanted to have a little control. Hey man, I need better receivers. Shut up, Tom, let me handle my business. Yeah. Hey, I want to play with this tight end. Shut up, Tom. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And here's, Tom goes to Tampa and take a team who James Winston couldn't even win the division and won a Super Bowl with. And we're watching, because now this game has always been a quarterback-driven league, but now it really is.
Yes, sir.
And Bill's finding out how hard it is to win without Tom because of what he did to the players, the relationships that Bill don't have with players, Tom has with players. Like those, the Gronk, the Edelmans, the Detroit Browns, like the Randy Mosses, they enjoy playing with Tom. Corey Dillon, like all of these guys, when offensive guys that went there, they wanted to go play with Tom. I'll deal with Bill. I'm playing with Tom.
Yeah.
And that's that.
I get asked that question all the time. Would you rather have Brady or Belichick? And for me, it's easy. It's Brady because I played for a great head coach in Chicago in Lovie Smith. We didn't win a Super Bowl. We got there and lost because we didn't have the quarterback. We didn't have that piece to our puzzle that could get us over the top. Brady's obviously different than any other guy that's ever played, but we never had a great quarterback to get us over that hump. But we had a great head coach, and that's why I put Bill as well.
Defense.
Great defense, great head coach. We didn't have
pieces in place.
that piece at quarterback to get us over that hump.
Pieces in place.
But you're going to need a quarterback.
You're going to need a quarterback to get there.
Two of the greatest defenses ever. And if you got a quarterback.
Well, y'all, Brad Johnson won it for y'all. Well, no, he didn't win it for y'all. He was on the right team.
Pass touchdown in Troy Aikman. Just
Stop it, Warren.
What?
Are you trying to?
But-
we already had this discussion.
His career?
He has more pass touchdowns than Troy Aikman.
How about this? How about this? How about this?
Guy, by the way.
Who from the Patriots that Brady played with, and we're not going to count Moss, that we're going to see in the Hall of Fame?
Well, there are. Ty Law's already there.
No, I'm talking about offense.
Oh.
Like
Slater,
I'm just.
that's special team.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying.
Keep going. Grunk might be it.
Grunk might.
I just want you to know what he was dealing with.
Yeah, for sure.
I want you to know what he won with.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Aaron Hernandez hadn't committed murder.
All right. I got this for you.
just saying.
No.
I'm just saying. Look
at. This is the way I break down this Tom Brady Belichick thing. It took 4, almost 5 Hall of Famers to bring Tampa our first championship. It only took Tom to bring him the second one. That's it for me. That's it for me. Tom came there and said, let's round up and let's go. In a franchise that had never seen a championship except with me, Brooks, Lynch, and Rondé, and Simeon and crew. Gone.
And Brad Johnson.
The man is special.
Now, I'll say this about Belichick. Very disciplined.
Yeah.
Covered all situations.
You know, that's like saying, let me tell you this about Jason Whitlock. Very fat. Everybody knows Belichick's discipline. Everybody knows I'm fat. That's a joke, Brad.
Belichick in trouble.
Thank you, little good.
He's not in trouble.
Hold on, I done finish your
No,
He's not in trouble.
He's not going anywhere.
Listen, Belichick, it's like he's going to end up. He's going to get just like Popovich just got Wimiani.
No, he ain't getting one.
I'm just saying,
He'll figure it
Belichick
out.
gonna get him a good
He's gonna
quarterback.
he'll figure
Just
it out.
watch. He gonna get him a good quarterback.
I'm going to tell you, he may get him a good one, but that's kind of my next time. I don't know if this brand of football is ever going to create a Brady, a Favre, a Manning. And I say that because where quarterbacks, if you go back early in Brady's career, before they changed all the rules, the way to a quarterback to establish credibility in his locker room was to hold that football and take that hit.
Yeah.
And the teammates would all see it like, oh, man, he waited that extra split second to get me the ball, knowing he's going to take that hit. That's over now. That level, it's over.
Kind of.
The man got pushed last week. Who was it? Jalen Hurts got pushed and they threw a flag.
No.
Pushed him in the
I'm
back.
not talking about on that. I'm talking about the quarterback willingness to do it.
Stand in there.
If you watch Mahomes, Hurts, they'll scramble around, but they're gonna hold it a little bit. They're gonna buy the time.
Kirk Cousins
I'm just saying.
Kirk Cousins will stand in there and take a hit.
They'll buy the time. Now
May
the
not be a big
game,
hit, but he'll take
the
one.
game, you don't have to do that
Got
anymore.
you, but I think I'm older
It's
than
tougher to
everybody.
earn.
I'm over
Yeah.
than everybody. I'm older than everybody. Phil Simms was a solid quarterback, but he was a great leader because that dude would take hit after hit after hit. I'd look at that like, damn. And then I met him when he was like 50, and it's like, this dude's all yoked up and blah, blah. He's a tough, and that's what Favre was, never missed a game, all them injuries. And that's what I loved about Brady early in his career. I was like, damn, this dude is a superstar, but he takes these hits. And that was what, to me, separated him from Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning's great, but Peyton Manning would drop to the ground before taking them hits. This era of quarterback play, Brett, it's not producing great quarterbacks. There's a big drop off from the era that you and Manning and Brady and Rodgers.
I don't know. I think there's probably tough guys, but I don't know if you're going to know it.
You ain't got to prove it.
And I'll say this, it's not their fault. necessarily.
Right.
Good point.
That's where the game is.
It's the nature of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's probably the closest thing because he goes for it.
He puts himself in that
You
position.
don't have to anymore.
I know.
Yeah, he doesn't have to, and he's going to get hurt.
He's old school though.
He's gonna get knocked.
He's going to get hurt.
Man,
They're all going to get hurt. It's
I
matter of
remember,
when.
listen, Brady the last couple of years, he was looking at the ref like,
Yeah.
like throw the damn flag.
Yeah.
And that's where the game is. That's where the game is. You know, and when you say great, not just taking hits. I don't want it to put just in the mannerisms of the quarterback and being successful and understanding the game. This is where this game is going because they're not asking quarterbacks to be great like that. Plays are getting called from the sideline. The quarterback don't have to do as much. It's different. In college, like, I remember, like, it was about, like 2011, 12, guys started coming in the game that had never been in a huddle.
Yep.
Like, they had never huddled up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
never
they-
taking a snap underneath.
Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, Alex Smith got
Right.
drafted and he had never taken a snap.
Under center.
Center.
Since like, so like the game started to evolve and the things started to change, and now what we have is it's perfectly positioned, and because they need to survive. We got to remember, football is the last sport that a lot of the coaches that's coaching, they've never played the game at a high level. Maybe high school, maybe some in college at a small level, but no pro experience. In baseball, most of the managers in baseball, they either played in the minors or played in the majors. Basketball, most of those coaches on the sideline, they played in the NBA or in a league similar, somehow, some way. In football, we have guys who have never laced it up, never put on the silks, telling you, here's what you do. And not being able to understand when you can and can't do it. And we're the last. So now these coaches, to remain relevant, it's a coaching-driven league. Hey, I'm gonna create the matchup. I'm gonna figure out what group of players go in. It's my scheme. Literally, it's my scheme. So if you're a coordinator for 2 years and you do good, you can get a head job.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is do good.
Analytics is a big thing.
I agree, but hold on, Marshall. Are you knocking or saying that it would be better coached by former high-level players?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Because we don't know that. Because they don't allow that.
How about, and did I say this? I can't remember if I said this last time, but I'm a terrible editor. I see things so quickly. The mistakes that are made, I don't have the patience to be like, no, you should have written it this way, you should have did this, and I'm very short with people, and I get frustrated very easy because I see it so easily. And that's what I think happens with great players. They see the game so easy, and they sit there, you can't figure that out?
Can't get it.
Yeah.
I understand, and I'll agree with you that we have that issue in playing, but guess what we do know? We know talent. John Lynch knows talent,
Yeah.
all right? He
Kyle
might not know the
Shanahan
quarterback
can coach
position. He might not know the quarterback position. That's a Tampa thing.
He
That's a
asking
Tampa
somebody,
thing.
somebody else about the quarterback.
That's a Tampa thing.
Hey, man, you don't have to have a great one. You just got to have one that's
But I'm just
serviceable.
saying, like,
Yeah,
you
defense.
know talent. You understand what a player, what it looks like. You get that. And why when we talk former players, and we stop at coach, we don't go to GM, we don't go to president of a team or running the organization. And why if Brett led the team, why can't he lead the team in a different way? If a leader's the leader.
60% of women reported that they would have preferred to give birth if they had received more support from others or had more financial security. And that's where preborn steps in and steps up. Preborn is there for women in their darkest hour, deciding between the life and death of their precious child. The reality is, women are being pressured to make this fatal decision and are being told that their babies are just a clump of cells. Preborn welcomes women with God's love and introduces them to the beautiful life growing inside of them, which doubles their baby's chance at life. When you support Preborn, you not only support women, you empower them. Your donation of $28 will help a woman to make a choice that she won't have to regret for the rest of her life and gives her the ultimate blessing, life. Your love can save a life. Just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby. Or visit preborn.com/fearless. That's preborn.com/fearless. Guys, you know how I feel about preborn. You know how I feel about life beginning at conception. We got to support preborn. I want, make sure y'all make a middle note, because we're going to circle back to this conversation, because I want to go a bit deeper into that.
Please.
But we're going to circle back to that. But I want to finish my thoughts on this quarterback era, and I want to hear from Brian, because Brett and Marshall have said interesting things in terms of we're not asking quarterbacks to do nearly as much, and so that's why I think it's going to be hard for them to be nearly as respected as the guys from this era, because people can get on TV and say what they want, but anybody that knows football is looking like, man, they spoon feeding all these dudes.
Yeah.
In college, what do they do right before everybody look over
Right,
the sideline?
right.
They do this and they
Tell
go
me
like
what
this.
to do. Tell me what to
Yeah.
think. We
Sign
used to have to think for ourselves.
Yeah.
We used to have
Sign
to-
up.
It's like Marsh said with the matchups. The coaches create the matchups, and it's up to the players to exploit those. For the quarterback to at least see which matchup best suits their team. But it's just, there's a handful of guys, probably 5, 6, 7 guys that are like Brett used to be. You know, maybe not as tough, but
Who are they?
talent-wise, Josh Allen. I think Justin Herbert can put that category. Burrow, Mahomes is the best.
Burrow and Mahomes. I'll give you that. The rest
You don't
is
like
suspect.
Herbert?
No, tough.
I watched him the other night stand in there and take some hits.
Right, it's the toughness.
stand in there.
He might not have the skill set yet.
Yeah.
But the toughness is there.
He'll stand in there and take a hit. Joe's same way. Okay, maybe 4 guys, but there's a couple. Lamar, I like Lamar Jackson as well. Lamar will stand there because he runs so much.
Lamar will get respect for his toughness, for sure.
Agreed. I like
You just got
Lamar.
to be careful.
Yes.
Careful.
Yeah. Hey, Justin Fields in Chicago is not a sissy either.
Cut it out. Cut it out, bro.
I didn't say he's a great quarterback.
Stop it.
I didn't say he's a great quarterback. I didn't say he's a great quarterback. I
Brian's
said
driver here.
he's tough.
Get him out of here.
Hey,
He's tough.
the fact that he's been sacked as much as he's been sacked,
He's
and
tough. Marshall, come on. He's tough.
Listen,
Anyway.
you gotta be tough.
But they are with the running game being the way it is now. All the short passes, the short passes is the running game now. You know, they get him all these easy throws, the little screens, the little pop, whatever the flares, whatever they're called. They make it easy for him. You know, that's just the way the game's going. They give them to these great athletes, and they all get out there and run. So it's easy for the quarterback to get rid of the ball.
Man, Patrick Mahomes, what was it, like last year? I'm listening to like, okay, this is he's like, I'm still learning how to read defenses. I'm like, what?
What defense?
He said it.
No, he in an interview, he's
Really?
like, yeah, Andy,
Wow.
he's like, my understanding and reading for defenses is getting better.
Wow.
Like it's,
Well,
like
I
it's,
think you're.
They run watch stick every play. That's the only thing they run. Watch stick and
Go-
don't
move-
really-
Mark,
move
a good
around,
coach
move
to
around.
me is you run the same play if it works. Holmgren,
Cowboys did it too.
one of my favorite play was Fox to X Y hook. I right, fake a draw. I got Chimera, Keith Jackson, and Bubba Franks on a hook. And if he's not there, I got a post on the same side or a hook backside. We called that damn play till the cows came home. And it worked.
It worked.
And Holmgren, we'd be in the huddle, I'd be waiting for a play. Frank Winters be like, I bet it's Fox to X Y hook. Give Fox to X Y hook. Told you. But that
It worked.
it worked.
You know what it's called? Kiss. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
it simple, stupid.
That was lovely. We ran cover 2. We played y'all one year. We played like 55 snaps. 54 or 53 were cover 2. The one play was 4th and 1. We ran under 10. But we ran 53 snaps out
Coach
of
Fazio.
this. Or we run a pirate on it. You know how it is. We run a pirate. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Under pirate 57, over pirate 2.
I remember when
was
Brian
just-
would do like this, he kind of looked back at the secondary.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, here it comes. Some kind of blitz.
Yes. We got to make sure we're, yeah. But it was just.
Don't panic.
It was
Don't
simple.
panic.
It was simple, man.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Defense, the same way. If you play fast, you're playing good football. You're not thinking.
Thought process out.
Yep.
Guys, you know how I feel about liver health formula. I've been taking the stuff for more than 2 years. We have to start taking care of our liver right now more than ever, because the latest data from the American Heart Association indicates that adults with fatty liver are 3.5 times more likely to have heart failure than those without. There is a solution. Liver Health Formula, an all-natural supplement which contains 12 clinically proven botanicals that help recharge and protect your liver. Manufactured right here in the US of A and approved by American doctors. If you're looking to ignite your fat-burning metabolism, boost your energy, and transform how you look and feel, try Liver Health Formula and receive a free bottle of blood sugar formula to reduce sugar cravings when you order today. Try Liver Health Formula by going to getliverhelp.com/Jason and claim your free bonus gift. That's getliverhelp.com/Jason.
Yep.
Brian, get us rolling here. And we've talked about quarterbacks, but let's throw quarterbacks out.
Okay, good.
Which current NFL player impresses you the most and why?
Oh, man. Just one guy.
Just one guy. And don't say Justin Fields.
I'm not saying Justin Fields. Look, all I say with Justin Fields is tough, man. That kid's tough.
I told you one more time, you want to be dumb, you got to be tough.
Damn, I can only pick one guy?
One.
I like TJ Watt. I'll tell you why. He plays hard. You know, I like guys who give effort every single play. He makes big plays. He does what he's supposed to do. And he does his job every play. Like I said, guys that sprint to the football every play. There's so many guys, though, that...
Let me ask you a follow-up about TJ.
Okay, go ahead.
Is he better than JJ?
Yes.
Wow.
I think he's better than JJ. Just I know JJ...
That other fellow was a 3 straight time defensive.
And that won't happen now because of the amount of players, good defensive players that are in the NFL. So TJ's going to have a hard time doing that because there's too many good players in the NFL. You don't think so?
But there was good ones.
I'm about to say there were no good players when
They were good.
Come on, stop.
I believe TJ is better.
Hey, man, J.J. Watt made him start counting batted balls.
Boy?
Yeah.
What made it batted ball like he was
That
something?
was never a stat.
Never. You know how many balls hit my hand in 13 years? You should say hit my hand. 12. I didn't bat no ball. I mean, it might have hit my hand.
Well, I didn't know it was a ball
Because
batting
I couldn't
contest. I didn't know it was a ball batting contest.
No, but
I'm just telling you.
I like TJ Watt. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a ball batting contest.
PBU is a pass breaker.
Yeah, great job. Yeah,
No,
my
that's-
bad.
no.
Yeah, and then he got his dance for it, too.
That's for the secondary guys.
JJ Watt was a great
I never heard that stat.
I hadn't
To
either.
defensive linemen, it was like
I thought it was just for
balls
defense.
batted
I heard
down.
that stat. We got credit for it in our meetings. So I knew.
Yeah, linebackers.
It was never a stat that was like part of the game, and then it
Now it
became
is.
part of
So JJ
commentating.
Watt's a great player. I like TJ better. Sorry.
I like
So
it.
That's the guy I like. I love the way he plays out full speed.
I'm going to go to the offensive side because I see too many lazy asses on defense just not hunting. I mean, they just don't hunt. And it's A.J. Brown for me.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched this monster come to my house in Tampa, Raymond James. You know, I got Cosby Blunt. I got my credential on. I walked out there and I was messing with Jalen Hurts. I said, hey, take it easy on us.
Did you say you have
Say it again.
Credentials?
Carte
No,
Blanche?
it worked.
Carte Blanche.
Cosby Blunt.
Is that a tequila or what is that?
That's what I thought you were saying.
That's run around the
I thought maybe he had his glass with him.
Cosby Blunt, man. So that's how we do it. So I'm out on the field.
You know, I have said that word on this show.
Oh, yeah, it's all good.
And somebody triggered me. But go ahead, finish.
Hey, trigger. All right.
Finish.
This monster walked up on me, dog. And I have known Smith since he was over at Yo Murphy's, the performance since he got out of Alabama.
Smith.
Yeah, Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
I've seen him, little guy, receiver like it should be. All of a sudden, his shadow comes by. And I look. I say, Lord Jesus, is it even legal to be that big? I mean, that boy is rock dog. You seen that monster?
Oh, yeah.
And then we talking about 6 straight games of 125 yards? The only other guy did that was the guy so bad, we named him a bad guy, Megatron. This kid here is something serious, boy.
Yeah.
Serious.
Bigger than Metcalf? DK Metcalf?
Dude.
Not as tall.
No, not as tall, but boy,
Yeah,
rocked up. DK ain't got nothing on this boy. He run routes.
Weren't they teammates in college?
I think they was, yeah.
Ole Miss.
They had to be bad.
They got
Dude.
that.
They had to be
Dude, how you got enough weights in the weight room for?
How do you not win with
They
them
got a
two?
direct connect, it sounds like to me.
Oh,
But
I'm talking about this monster. I say, Jesus Christ. I ain't never seen a receiver that big before in my life. And Andre Johnson, I've been around him.
Calvin would be.
Yeah. Megatron.
Crazy thing, Calvin played at Georgia Tech. They ran the wishbone.
Yeah,
No, remember that? Number 21?
No,
Just throw it up to
yeah,
him.
It is. The Chan Daly comes and say, we're going to use Calvin Johnson as a decoy today.
Nice.
Unbelievable, right?
Smart.
4'3", 6'5" receiver, you won't even throw him the ball.
Shit, I'd throw it to him
Coaching.
every time.
Triple option. Are you kidding me?
Jason, I know you told us one guy, but obviously I have to say Christian McCaffrey because he's literally done this without a quarterback.
Hello.
Like he's done.
To me,
he's done this
to
without
me,
a quarterback.
he's the closest thing to Marshall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I just love the way
So
he
is
plays.
Marshall
that.
bragging on himself, or is he?
No.
Well, Marshall should brag on himself.
Nah,
'cause
I'm gonna do
highlighting
it
what I
for
see.
him, but go ahead.
Marshall was as good a receiver as he was as a running back. He was a damn good running back.
Inside blocker.
He knew who to block, and he not only did he know who to block, he blocked them, and he blocked other people's guy too, if need be. I see that in Christian. I see that level of smarts, that the game has slowed down for him, and as a quarterback, that's got to be so valuable. I never really had a guy for long that was like that, where you go, well, I got it. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
And then when he runs a route, they line him up out wide. He ran a slant better than anybody. So you got a linebacker who's at a disadvantage athletically, and then he runs a great route. I mean, your jock strap's hanging right there, man. And that's McCaffrey.
It helps Kyle. Because they're a team, the 49ers are a very versatile offensive team. Like they got players that can play multiple positions.
Yep.
And that's awesome. And then they got a Pro Bowl caliber tight end that loves blocking.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Like this dude loves blocking.
Yes, he
like
does.
he gets more excited when he's blocking people than when he catches the ball. But the second guy, hold on, wait. I gotta mention this guy. Nobody plays harder than this dude. Max Crosby plays so hard.
Man, you're right.
I've never watched somebody play as hard as he plays every snap.
It's a pleasure
He
to
doesn't
watch
come off the
Manny.
field.
Glad you brought that up.
I've never seen somebody
Yes.
play this hard.
Yes.
Yes.
That dude deserves
That's a
some
great call,
props.
Marshall.
He does play hard.
Like I marvel over how hard he plays on every
Every
snap.
snap. Yep.
Yeah,
And he
you
takes
have to
no
watch the
snaps
film
off.
because sometimes he's not involved in the play because he got blocked.
3 guys
or double
blocking him.
team.
Yeah.
But he is bad at it.
Badass.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he is.
Boy,
And he
every
doesn't-
snap.
Like,
I love it.
I
He doesn't
agree.
come off the field though, and D linemen they rotate. You know how it goes. They rotate in and out. He doesn't rotate. He stays out there all 3 downs.
I feel like when I watch him play, I feel bad that he's on the Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
shouldn't be like that kind of
this
effort.
dude should be
Yeah.
playing on a team
Yeah,
that's
that's
winning. Like,
winning.
you playing this hard?
Well, he will be.
Oh
Yeah,
my
probably
God!
will. Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna throw
his
it-
loyalty to this team
Yeah.
for
He loves
for what he
That
went
put him
through
out of-
and
yeah,
them giving
yeah,
him a
yeah.
chance.
Well, if they get a couple more like him at any position,
I don't think there's more like
There's not
him.
like
Like,
that
I-
out
Boy,
there.
into it. Like, now I told you, I only like watching defense.
Well,
but
hold on. He's saying Max Crosby. You just said T.J. Watt. Now it's like you jumping on board with Max Crosby.
I agree with him, but I like TJ still.
No, he like. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Max Crosby. I'm not even talking about his
because
talent.
of what the team
because
is
the
on.
Raiders are playing so bad.
Yeah, the team is on.
he doesn't get his due because
That's
of
right.
the team.
Yes.
Yes, he's a great football player.
he is.
Plays
He
hard.
plays
I just like
hard.
guys that play hard.
So he
That's
said
what
McCaffrey and Crosby. You got a guy?
You know, I think I'm going to give some props to Tua. You know, I mean, and I'm not talking about toughness and all this stuff, but he's had a lot of darts thrown at him from a lot of people. And I know they've lost the big games this year. They've lost. They didn't play horribly, but he has managed to put up enormous numbers. And when I say the face of adversity, it's not so much what the defense is giving him. It's everyone outside. He can't do it. He's soft. He's got migraines or headaches or concussions or he's too small. He didn't have the arm strength, but he's throwing bombs week in and week out.
Yeah.
Now he's got guys that can do it, but no one can stop him.
It's a good list.
What you got?
But and I've said this before to both of y'all. Tyreek Hill, to me, he's the unanswerable question. He's mini Randy Moss, and
I agree.
Randy Moss was not my favorite player, but he was a player you just couldn't solve for him. He simplified coverage, because your safety's scared to death, and to see a 5'9" guy have that same impact blows my mind away.
I agree with you on that, but here's the thing, and this is it. Kansas City won a Super Bowl without him. When you're that great,
First year without him.
when you're that great,
That great. There's a hole that you can't feel.
I just want you to know. Just remember that. They won a Super Bowl without him.
Well, I mean, you got Eddie.
But he's made the Dolphins.
Trigger man, they got pretty special.
He's fun to watch.
Just-
man.
Trigger
I like
man,
it.
just
I like it.
remember that.
pretty special.
Just remember that.
When he went to the Dolphins, he gave them instant credibility, and then he's backed it up.
Yes.
I mean, you know he can beat you deep, but yet he still beats you deep.
No. What they doing though? This man McDaniels is drawing up some stuff.
I can't
All of
imagine-
that.
I can't imagine playing that.
Like
offense,
I mean,
man.
when you got one in the slot,
All
he
of that.
come back out.
They got some
he
speed
runs this
out
there.
drag route. Then you
all
get,
this stuff.
Hey, I've been there.
Pre-snap.
Hey, I've been
Man.
there. Here's the thing. All right, I've been there. I've been on that team.
Yeah.
And there's gonna come. It's
gonna
gonna come
come
a
a time.
time.
We gotta
figure it
There's
out,
gonna come
for
a
sure.
time where, and they don't have this guy in the backfield.
Yes.
Mike used to be
Yes.
like, "Hey, we coming to you."
we coming to you.
Yeah.
See, you got to have a "we coming to you" guy.
Yep.
They got all these options, and the "we coming to you" guy can't be no outside guy. It could maybe be your tight end. It's got to be your running back. It's got to be like the game then got a little dirty. We coming to you.
It's got to be a hubcap or a wheel. It can't be this hood on it.
I'm just telling you,
Hood
now.
on it, ain't gonna get
I'm
it
telling
done
you.
for you, yeah.
I'm telling you what they missing.
That hood on it ain't gonna get it done.
You gotta have a dog.
Yep.
In
Yep.
Kansas City, when it gets like that, Jason Kelsey,
Kelsey.
we coming to you.
Or Travis even too.
Right. My bad. Yeah, Travis.
Travis.
Sorry.
Travis was the center. We got it.
They say
They saying the same thing in Philadelphia. We coming to you, Jason.
You're right. You're exactly right.
They run that tush push, and their
Oh, I
whole
can't
running
stand
game
that
is
play.
controlled by him. He, to me, and one I don't know how. Are you old enough to remember Dwight Stevenson? To me, that's
Reach a 9 technique. Yes.
yeah. And that's I won't put Kelsey on that level, but he's as close as I've seen anything at the center position to Dwight Stevenson.
You know Damani Dawson, right?
He was. I watched him.
No, those two.
the money was a dog. Boy.
Boy, Damani was a dog.
Yeah, he was.
Dwight
tell you.
Stevenson would embarrass you. He would embarrass.
I know 57 in the Dolphins. I got him. Trust me. He's a monster.
Yeah.
But Damani Dawson, he ran circles around me my rookie year. Boy, I was like, where the hell is he?
I just want to see when the Dolphins, when it gets to what they go to.
Yeah.
Because they played Buffalo. Buffalo did a great thing. All right, Tua, your quick game, we're going to get to you. Bad balls. We just going to stay here and batch balls up. So now you can't throw your quick stuff. We know you got to throw deep, so now we got to. They had no answer for it.
Yeah, if they could get a back that can
They need
do
a guy.
stuff like he. I mean, because you
gotta have
know
a-
that everybody else in
Most of
coverage
their numbers
is
are
paying
good.
attention to Waddle.
No,
They had,
they're
and a
Tyreek.
was it a chain?
They're good.
The kid that got hurt?
Yeah.
That dude's
They're good running
They're
backs.
good.
But
They're
when you
good.
get the
But
time.
when the game
Yeah,
gets
you
a
need
little
that.
muddy.
But how
like,
good are they in pass receiving?
Oh, it's going to get late in the year where
don't know.
the smoke and mirrors is out.
I don't
You have to
know.
go to
Most
something.
they don't do it.
Right.
Most
I
of them
mean,
catch the ball.
it's hard to say because they don't ask. They run in a spread, so they use the fake instead of having the back block an actual linebacker or something.
one-on-one blocking.
Right. They that's what they do.
Angle.
They do that kind of stuff. So, but the games in playoff games, it gets a little murky.
Yes, it does.
And you gotta like, all right, I gotta get dirty.
Yep.
Like some snot gonna come out of my nose, some blood gonna be coming.
gotta
from
go through
somewhere.
this wall.
I gotta go take this. I gotta go
through
take
this
this
wall.
whip. You know you're gonna get whipped. At the running back, it's like I know I'm gonna get whipped. Like they gonna hit me. I gotta go take this.
Get hit.
So, and I think this will be the last question for this group. Brett and Brian, white guys got stuff to do. You know,
Always.
Oh, man. Yeah, we can't hang out long enough. Sorry, man.
street lights come on. They got
Jeez.
milk check. We've been talking to you about big tech censorship and telling you about a major step Blaze Media is taking to declare independence from big tech and ensure we can keep bringing you the truth no matter what. Well, if you go to Blaze Media's website, theblaze.com right now, you will see it's been totally overhauled. You'll see news, articles, opinion, analysis, lifestyle, and tech commentary. But what you won't see are all those obnoxious ads that are virtually on every other website. Here's why. This is such a big deal. Most people don't realize that by having those ads on our website, Google was able to send bots to scour any content they deemed unsafe for advertisers. After finding something they didn't like, they demand we remove the ads from that article or else have our entire website demonetized. We dealt with this time and time again. And here's what's the worst part. After forcing us to remove ads from problematic articles, Google buried those articles so deep in the search results that they became nearly impossible to find. Google was essentially using its ad revenue as a cudgel to either force us to toe the leftist line or bury the unsafe content so that no one could find it. That's why we're walking away from ads on our website. The decision to go ad-free will cost us millions of dollars. We did not make that decision lightly, not at all. None of this is possible without you, and we're counting on you to make sure we can continue to bring you unfiltered truth. We're taking a gamble by investing in some quality content, including expert analysis, insightful commentary, and authentic investigative reporting. Visit theblaze.com, explore the all-new ad-free experience, and see for yourself how we're standing up against the suppression and prioritizing independent journalism. Go to theblaze.com right now. This is very important to me. You can find my work. It's only going to cost you a cup of coffee a month to support Blaze News. Guys, please join us. Anyway,
guys.
let me get to my point. In the past 12 months, Jim Brown and Dick Butkus have passed. And for me, my generation, Jim Brown and Dick Butkus, when I think of football, those really two are the guys I think of. Yep. I became great friends with Jim Brown, and Dick Butkus and I followed each other over Twitter. Great honor for me. And so I want to ask you guys are in the Hall of Fame. Those two guys no longer being there, who's the guy when you gather in Canton that is like, oh man, that's the man?
That's a tough question, but
I know exactly who it is for me.
Joe Montana, Roger Staubach,
Nice.
Mel Blount.
Mel Blount.
Mel Blount, he can play now.
That cowboy hat on, 6'5"
Mel Blount
corner.
can play right
He
now.
rides a horse in the rodeo.
That dude.
He is a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Mean Joe Green, I love.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I remember the commercials. I remember watching. I hated the Steelers because I love the Cowboys. And when the Steelers would beat them, I hated everything about them. I told Bradshaw, and he used to come to my house. I'm like, I hated you. But Roger Staubach to me was my two favorite players growing up. And I grew up 50 miles from the Superdome, even though I was in Mississippi, was Archie Manning and Roger Staubach. Archie played on a horrible team, but he razzled and dazzled with the best of them. Mm-hmm. Roger was just smooth and classy, and he's like that today. I've had a chance to meet most of those guys, and I could really go on and on. I hate to single out. I got to know Jim Brown. What a classy man he was. I got to know Ray Nitschke. He was a grumpy old man. Huh. Man, you guys don't know how to play, man. you guys are soft, man. Butkus was not like that. He was a very nice gentleman. Jim Brown, classy. Mel Blount he is a man's man.
Yes, he is.
And it's just an honor to be mentioned in the same breath with all those guys.
I got one for me. The year I got inducted in 2018, we were having the players luncheon. Is that was the
Nitschke luncheon.
Yes, so it's just players in the room. These dudes are so. T.O. didn't go that year. He was boycotting the Hall of Fame because he went on his third try, not the first. So there were some players bad-mouthing T.O. and just saying, he shouldn't be allowed in. And he was having his own induction at his college that day. But there were some not very nice things said about T.O. And Joe Namath stood up and said something. And after he said what he said, man, for me, it opened my eyes just because, that's Joe Namath. To me, Joe Namath is one of the greatest, icons of all time. And when I'm in circles and Joe walks in, people are like, oh, that's Joe Namath over there. So when he stood up and spoke at that luncheon, that to me was one of the guys that, now that Dick and Jim are gone, he's that next in line for me, if he wasn't already there already. But he was that guy for me.
Joe Namath is groovy.
That's what I was thinking.
Cool.
It's like,
Man,
you might be telling on yourself,
groovy.
Brian. That's
No.
like,
Well,
Joe Namath, he got the best weed in Canton.
Just what he said, man. Just what he said. And I don't know if what he said was like, man.
Yeah, no, Joe.
Joe's
got a mystique about
No
him.
one said anything after he said what he said. No one said anything else about T.O. I'll tell you that much. When he stood up and said what he said, people shut up about talking shit about T.O. after Joe said that.
Until they got out the room.
Yeah.
But when Joe was present, we got to shut up.
T.O. wasn't there to defend himself, so he had Joe in his stead. And he didn't defend him, but he said some things that I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So, guys,
it's kind of like our
guys
parents when they told you something when you're a kid. Like, one day you're going to miss school. You're going to miss high school. And you're like,
yeah, right.
Right. At 40, you're like, wouldn't mind going back to high school and just chilling a little bit. We're going to be Joe Namath one day. We're going to look at things a little differently. We're going to talk differently. We're going to think differently. Even though we think right now, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because remember what your parents told you, or some adult, or some coach.
Yeah.
Son, someday you're going to regret it by not working your ass off. I heard that a lot. But not that I didn't work. My dad never gave me attaboys. When I did good, he said, you can do better. When I did better, he said, you certainly can do better than that.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man.
My God.
But that's what Joe Namath, that's what the elders in the Hall of Fame, they give you wise, sage advice.
Joe Namath, the wise guy. I think
he's groovy.
The way he said it, though,
guy
man, I'm
kissing
telling you.
kissy.
No, that was just
Susie
one
Culver.
Monday night, man. That was just one Monday night. That was all.
Since 2011, well, when I got the year I went in, ever since that year, being a part of that, being a part of what we do, all the running backs we take a picture, all the guys that come back, and obviously we've lost some guys. So
OJ.
Yeah, this will be the first year. Actually, OJ, I think he's coming this year coming up.
I think he covered this one.
Yeah. I reached out to him. I'm like, Juice, we need you. None of that matters. When you on this team, you can't be cut. You can't die off this team. So regardless of what happened, he has a home at the Hall of Fame, and then like we want him to come back. But anyways, here's what I was saying. We would get together and we would take the picture. And if you asked every one of the running backs that's there, like in most positions, there's a question, who's the best? Everybody would say Jim Brown. Every running back would give the honor to Jim Brown. Like who's second, third, that could be mentioned. Whether it's Emmett or Barry, none of that mattered. All the guys, it was consistently is Jim, and it was like that was the thing for us. Like everybody, kind of that honor was always his, and everybody, the new guys coming in, Jim was the first person that they wanted to see, talk to, and the dude had always had the best advice. Yeah. The best stories. Yeah.
Oh,
always. I was just amazed
that. It
that.
wasn't Ray Nitschke.
Yeah, I was always amazed at just the advice and the things that he would share with you about the game back then and his thoughts of the game now. And what I loved, he never held back.
Nope.
He always spoke his mind. Did not care if you were offended or didn't like it. If you asked him a question, he gave you the answer.
That's how Butkus was too.
And that was it.
Man.
Who's next? Who's got next?
We're gonna see. We'll see. We will see.
That was the first picture. Whenever I got to the Hall of Fame, I went straight to Jim Brown, grabbed him, took my selfie because that's the goal. That's where it all starts for me. And then I go over to Bob Lilly and Mean Joe Breen and then Randy White because with me there, that's 4 of the 5 first ballot defensive tackles ever to play the game, and the only one missing is Merlin. So, you just kind of migrate with your guys, because I get to stand beside Mr. Cowboy.
What about
Mean
Joe?
fan.
Is that not the nicest man to have the most intimidating name?
Oh my
like
God!
Mean Joe Green, and you meet him, and it's like
He's
The
so
nicest dude
he's the
you
nicest guy you'll ever meet.
What?
I call him Pops. Like I call him Pops. So he's like a dad to me. Like,
He is.
so friendly and so polite and so soft spoken
I call him
too.
the meanest, the softest T-Rex ever because he got the shortest arms. I grab him and hold my phone out. He cannot grab my phone. I'll show you the video. Every year I got him. I grabbed it. I got the phone. He reaching at it. He cannot touch it. I said, look at the baby T-Rex, y'all. That's my guy. Every year I get him. I grab it, hold the phone out. He be reaching at it. I'm like,
have to go watch some tape because-
funny story. We're playing the Cardinals. With the Rams, we're playing the Cardinals. I'm wearing their ass out. And I'm talking shit across the sideline, and I'm bumping my gums. Y'all sorry. And I passed him, and he's looking at me, and I came back. Not you, Mr. Green.
Not you. I'm not talking to you. Yes, Lord.
Not you.
Yes, Lord.
I can't.
You can't do it. That's Dean Jones. You can't do it. You got to pay
I had to
homage.
apologize to him.
Sir. I'm not
I had to
talking
go
you,
back
dog.
to him.
Everybody else around you.
And when I got in the Hall of Fame and we actually met, I reminded him, I was like, you remember? They said, I remember.
Yeah, you remember, just like yesterday.
Oh, man.
That's good. That's good.
I'm going to sneak one more quick one in just for these two guys because it's a personal pet question of mine. Who's the greatest offensive lineman of all time?
Larry Allen.
I second that.
Not even close to me.
With a 180 to Randall McDaniel.
Randall McDaniel was good. You played with him and against him, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Twice a year, and then I had him on my team.
Man,
Those two.
That was NFC. Was it the North
Central
back then?
Central.
My
Black
first
and
couple
blue
years.
division,
Yes,
baby.
black and blue. Brad was in there. Brad was in there
Jackie
too.
Slater.
Oh, Jackie Slater was good.
Longevity. I love Jackie. I'm a Rams fan growing up. Love Jackie. Followed his whole career.
He played a long time in an era where they bandaged even broken legs and put you back out.
I got this for you. He was the right tackle. Jackie was. Left, Pace, and Munoz.
Pace was unreal.
Yeah.
Pace and Munoz. So if we talking tackles.
Yeah.
What about Jonathan Ogden?
Wouldn't no Pace first overall pick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now just think about that.
I played
Like
with
left
him.
tackle, first overall pick, and you do what he did. Like this is
Yeah, it's hard to do it.
it's
live
hard
up to
when
it.
you're the first,
Yeah.
you the first overall pick,
Yes.
and you do more than paying out.
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all, and y'all need to maybe ask around because y'all may not be old enough. But
John Hanna?
yes, John Hanna.
No. Trust me. I know the John Hanna
Have
story.
you watched the tape? Watch the tape though.
Brother.
Now, Larry Allen is who I would lean to.
Yeah.
But John
Hanna was a monster. No
Yeah.
doubt about it. And I used to tell him all the time, who you think you is, John Hanna around here or somebody? I used to say this all the time to him until I was at the Pro Bowl. And that Larry Allen came around that corner.
At a Pro Bowl? He hit you at a Pro
No,
Bowl?
he just moving.
Huge.
My God, he can't pull that
he
thing.
can
You
run.
know, at the
Yeah,
Pro Bowl,
so
they
athletic,
make you
man.
sit in these two techniques. You don't really get to move. So this monster came around that corner. I turned to Brooks. I said, I see what they talking about.
Didn't he bench something like 700?
Man, 600.
super number,
Bounce
yeah.
it all the time. And then bounce DBs, bounce linebackers.
Playing with a
Ran
different.
like a 4.6.
With his
Yeah, run them down run down the day I picked off the pass. Larry Allen was not to be joked
He
with.
was different.
I understand John Hanna was back in the day, but John was about my size. John about 6'2", about 280.
Larry Allen was that wide.
Yes, Lord.
He had to have the biggest helmet in the NFL. His head was so big.
So athletic, dog. I'm telling you.
He was a monster.
Played all 5 positions.
At the
Center
same
guard,
time.
left guard, all of them.
Almost.
I'm the only guy up there.
All of them, dog.
He was
And then
awesome.
Randall had that funky leg thing
Yeah, he had
down.
like a twist.
Yeah.
He twisted his leg
Yeah.
down and still, man. Them was some
Forgot
rough
about
Sundays,
that.
dog. Don't talk-
Well, I'm not going to ask y'all to comment, but my only other guy that's just a cut below Larry Allen and John Hanna.
Oh, that Dobler?
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. He will not be in the Hall of Fame. But Brian Waters was just a cut below
yes,
those
yes.
guys. He was a good friend of mine when he was in Kansas City. That dude was nasty. And love watching him and Willie Rowe play side by side. That was
Willie Meat Rose.
That was
Yeah.
that was a
Will
good left
Shields?
side.
yeah.
I consider him better than Will Shields.
I'm on camera, so I'm not
No,
going
no, I'm the one that faced them. I'm the one that faced them both. I put Brian Waters. I go.
Will Shields is good.
It's Randall and Larry. Then it's Brian Waters. Then Will Shields.
Will Shields.
Cogan, Guy McIntyre. I had some pretty good ones in there.
Well, we're going to
good
wrap
names.
this show and let the white guys go home.
They were on our bikes.
We'll play. Yeah, they're going to the golf course probably.
Marshall's a better golfer than all of
He's
us.
better than everybody.
He's smarter than all of us too.
That's true.
So
not
anyway,
gonna do that.
we'll play tomorrow, and when we come back, you'll see me tomorrow talking to Sapp and Faulk. I got some more questions for these guys. Play tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Making all this moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on a corner, never been alone. I'll break my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, no deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom. I wanna be, I just want